Exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
Welcome back to Talking Mets at Rob with another Mets pregame live right here on the channel. So don't forget, guys, to please hit on that like button if you're a new subscriber to the channel. Thank you for tuning in, and welcome to your first time on the channel during a Mets game live right here on Talking Mets at Rob. So starting pregame a little bit later today. There's a reason for that, because of the fact that the Mets decided to, kind of blow a terrible game. Just didn't look like they were ready to play. By the fifth inning, the game was over. So there's not a lot to talk about when it comes to the New York Mets and their lack of any type of performance yesterday, from all the way from pitching to offense. It was just bad all around the table. And you know what? You're going to have one of those games. Yes, it was game 5 of the season. You'd rather not have a game like that early on in the season. But one thing we do know is the fact that the NL East is not off and running like everybody thought they would be. The Phillies are 0-4. The Braves took 2 out of 3 against Washington. They're not really looking great either. You know, they got injuries. The Phillies got injuries. The Mets got injuries. And nobody can use that as an excuse. But nobody in the NL East has gone off running full steam ahead, and that's okay. But you know what? It's early in the season. I don't think you guys can, or anybody, no matter what team you root for, especially in the NL East, it's not the end of the world. You know, every game, it seems like it's like Armageddon. When you look on social media, you know, the Mets score 6 runs in the game against the Marlins, and all of a sudden the Mets are the best team in baseball if you look at Twitter, and then they scored no runs against the Brewers yesterday and lose 10-0, and they're the worst team in baseball. So you can't look at it that way. You know, everybody knows the flaws with every one of their own teams, and no team is perfect. But if the Mets come out today and win 6-1, you're back to square one again, right? You got a nice win under your belt, and you go into tomorrow trying to win a series, in the second series of the year. So that's where you got to look at. So the Mets, nothing went well yesterday. Offense just looked terrible. I saw people on Twitter like, oh, they had a, right after the game, they got to fly. They had to play a day game, blah, 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 whatever. All right. These guys are flying private. All right. They're getting the full treatment of great treatment. I'm sorry. We work 9 to 5 jobs. We work crazy hours. We bust our ass for basically not even pennies to what these guys make. I don't want to hear that at all. And that goes for every team. That goes for every player. I don't want to hear that. I know they're human, but let's not act like they're not getting their cake and eating it too. All right. They get everything they have to need. They don't have to pack up their bags after the game. All they got to do is shower, change, and get on the plane. That's all they got to do. They get the food handed to them. They get their bags handed to them. They don't have to worry about nothing. Okay? Right? Bills are automatically paid for them. No problem. Auto pay, boom. Everybody has that issue. They're not living paycheck to paycheck like a lot of people in this country. So the hell with them. And I don't want to hear that excuse. I heard somebody brought that up and I laughed. Sorry, I don't want to hear that. When you fly private and you get the best hotels, you get the best suites, you get all the food you want, you get to not actually clean your clothes or clean the jerseys or pack your bags. Everything's done for you. I don't want to hear it. So no excuses for the New York Mets. It was an embarrassing game yesterday. Pick yourself off, dust yourself off, get going, and play game 6 of the season and win a freaking ball game. You're facing Wade Miley. The Mets struggle against left-handers. They didn't look good against Luzardo. Against the Marlins in game 2, they didn't score. They only scored 1 run with a Pete Alonso home run late in the game. So lefties are a problem with the New York Mets. That's a big reason why Tommy Pham's at the right behind Pete Alonso tonight in the lineup. So the game's going to start in a few minutes, so we're going to get straight to the lineup and the pitching matchup for tonight. So let's check that out before we get for Mets and Brewers game 6. Mets are looking to try their best to even the series so they can get a chance of winning the series tomorrow before their home opener on Thursday. And the weather is looking better and better for Thursday for the Mets home opener. It looked like it was like 85% chance of rain, and that wasn't pretty good. But it's like scattered showers, and the percentages got down extremely low. If you look by hour, it's looking decent on Thursday. Again, not tip-top weather, but it'll be good enough to play a big game of baseball during the afternoon on Thursday. So let's throw up game day right now so we can take a look at our pitching matchup for today and the lineup. So, all right, guys. So Max Scherzer is on the mound, 1-0 on the season with his 4.5 ERA. Again, he did give up 3 runs in 6 innings. And, the big blow was to Cooper to tie the game on opening day, but the Mets found a way to win that ball game. And they're going against the lefty Wade Miley, who since 2021 has pitched really well. And he is a funky lefty. Doesn't throw necessarily hard, but can, keep a lot of guys out in front. So that is the pitching matchup for tonight. And the New York Mets lineup, which will be across your screen in just a second. If you look on the bottom, it is scrolling across the screen. If you want to follow along with me, we're going to start off the lineup of the Mets right now. We got about 4 minutes until game time. Brandon Nimmo leading off playing center field. We got Starlin Marte batting second, playing right field. Francisco Lindor batting third, playing shortstop. Pete Alonso cleaning up, playing first base. Tommy Pham getting a nod with the lefty on the mound. DH and batting fifth. Mark Canha left field batting sixth. Jeff McNeil batting seventh, playing second base. Eduardo Escobar getting the start again at third base batting eighth. And Tomas Nido is catching for the filling of the lineup in the number 9 spot. And the Milwaukee Brewers lineup, we got Christian Yelich, left field leading off. We got Winker DH, Adames shortstop, cleaning up Tellez first base, batting fifth. Anderson third base, Mitchell center field, batting sixth. Caratini catching, batting seventh. Terang with his first major league home run yesterday was a grand slam, playing second base, batting eighth. And Weimer right field, batting ninth. And that is the 2 lineups for the New York Mets and the Milwaukee Brewers for game 6, game 2 of the series. And the Mets are looking to try their best to salvage the series. At the very least, try to go into tomorrow winning the series. And that's where we got to go. The Mets won the first 8 out of 10 series last year. And that's the way you want to start off the season once again, if not better. So that's where we are right now. Going to go into game time in a few minutes. Once game time happens, we will actually get game day started. So I'm going to take game day away for a second because for some reason MLB game day doesn't actually reload on itself. You have to go into the website again because that's always fun. But that's okay, guys. So once again, guys, please hit on that like button. And if you're a new subscriber to the channel, say what's up in the chat. Let me know where you're from. I always like to know where people are from. Yesterday, we had a couple of people from Argentina. And that would be nice. I'm just looking at the comments, guys. Sorry, 1 second. All right. So if you're new to the channel, you're a new subscriber, let me know where you're from. And if you are a Mets fan, or even if you're not a Mets fan, you're just checking out the channel to see what's up, let's go. So, all right, I see Michael in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Not too far around the way. That's cool. John is giving up Philly updates. John like the Phillies social media, the YouTube channel, so he comes to me. And I appreciate that. And, there you go. What's up, John? New Jersey beat the Argentinian. What's up, Mike? All right, guys. So the game's about to start in a second. As you know, if you're new to the channel, what I do, I put the game day up. And I also put the sound of the game from the SNY broadcast or whatever's broadcasting the Met game. If it is a nationally televised, ESPN, Apple, then there will be the audio you will get. But right now we got SNY. So I'm just reloading the MLB game day app so we can get ready to go for Mets and Brewers. With the Mets, obviously, starting off the top of the order with Nimmo, Marte, and Lindor. So just give me a second, guys. Just waiting for it to load. For some reason, game day just likes to act up right when a lot of games are starting, which is very annoying. But hey, what are you going to do, right? Live is live. Live is not perfect. I agree about – I don't know necessarily if he's done or while the game started. Okay, there you go. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio. Sorry, they came back late on commercial.
Back to Milwaukee, where he had some of his best success back in 2018. And he gets ahead on 0-2. Ran over 2 yesterday, walked some more times. He's already walked 6 times in the first 5.
Sorry, guys. This is just very quickly. The commercial came back. I try to keep my Shea living. Let me just change it up a second, guys. Sorry about that. The commercial came back extremely quickly, and we already missed a pitch before it came back. That's crazy. All right, Nimmo might beat this out. Safe. Yeah. All right, Brandon. There we go. Good start. Infield hit for Brandon Nimmo. Can you guys hear it?
Just enough to slow it down, and Brandon beat the play at first. Well, a pitcher's always going to react. Good slider.
All right, good start for the Mets. I'll take it, considering what we had yesterday.
For Brandon, who's always hustling down the line, and there he goes. That hustle got on the base hit. He didn't put his head down. Normally, he puts his head down. He smelled that hit. So the Mets have been
all right, Marte.
Hits all day yesterday. In fact, they had more clock violations than hits in the first game of the series. Had a hit to start today. Riley's got a great pickoff move. That's not it. But he just wasted one. Sure did. We'll see what he does going forward against.
So if you just heard, Miley got a great pickoff move. Marte bunts down the line. Just foul.
It hits the lip of that grass. It always pushes it foul. Try high the Mets starting lineup. Tommy Pham with a big day Sunday. The last time the Mets faced a left-hander gets the DH role, and he'll live 5th behind Alonso. Tomas Nino also getting the start against the left-hander. The 2 left-handed bats in the lineup, Nimmo and McNeil today. And Marte skies to the right. And Weaver, the right fielder, right there to grab it. And that's the first out. And your Brew Crew defense brought to you by Catholic Health. Brian Anderson, the former Marlin, started at right field, went to third base. That's his position. And that Bryce Terang and a fine glove. Out in the outfield, you got some strong arms, a lot of speed in Garrett Mitchell and Joey Weimer. Big arm out in right field.
See if Lindor can get going batting right-handed.
Cutter low for ball one. Miley will throw a lot of cutters, a lot of change-ups. He developed that cutter while a member of the Baltimore Orioles in 2017 pitching for Buck Showalter. Really resurrected his career. He's now with his 8th different major league team. And there's the changeup, and that just missed it. It's 2-0.
Joe and I put him second.
Yesterday, otherwise 0 for 1.
I don't think anybody's beating the Cardinals.
He's got a 381 on base percentage started the game. It's won 25 times in their first 5 games.
I think I had the Brewers at like 87, 88 wins. I think I had them under 90.
You're right. There is some. Did they shoot off some fireworks in here? I guess they must have, and the residue is still there. The roof is sealed shut, of course, because it is cold and it's raining outside. There's the move. I'm going to be wary with Miley. He's always had the propensity to pick people off.
Just a little bit of coffee.
We'll have a few of those.
Come on, Frankie.
Coming up not too far down the road. We'll pop up in the
That might drop. That might drop. Oh, nice play.
So after Nemo's lead-off hit, Marte and Lindor retired on fly balls. Meanwhile, he's talked about his cutter. That's his primary weapon. And only his teammate.
No beer. Unfortunately, I have to go back to work tomorrow. Well, tonight, actually. So.
Had a higher percentage of cutters since the start of 2021. Alonso takes a fastball for a strike. He'll only throw his fastball, his non-cutter, 17% of the time, one of the lowest figures among starters in the majors. Alonso 3 for 6 in his career against Miley. And a bouncing ball toward the middle. Terang to his right, and the throw.
Nice play.
For the first play, and I get the third out. Nicely done.
All right, so that ends the inning for the Mets. Leadoff infield hit for Nimmo, and they didn't get nothing done. They went 1, 2, 3 after that. So we're going to the bottom of the first. No score. Mets Brewers. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit on that like button while you're here. Oh boy. Let's see. Alrighty. There we go. All right. So that's where we are at the moment. Of course, these commercials come back quick. Who knows anymore what the hell is going on? I'm sorry. I went to 4 games. I clearly seen what the speed of the game is much more obvious while you're at the game because you got to go to the bathroom, you got to go get something to eat or drink. And like I said, I went to the bathroom. It was at Lone Depot Park in Miami. Not a lot of people. I missed a inning. And when it was opening day, I missed the inning and a half. So it's like, when you get to ballparks that, is much more, full, you're going to have problems with concessions. You might miss 2 innings. If you, like Thursday on opening day with the Mets, there's a big possibility that you better get your beer, you better get your food early or get a couple of beers early because you're going to be online for a while, so it's going to be a problem. That's one thing for sure. All right, guys, so the game is coming back on. Going through the Brewers lineup. Going to the bottom of the first, no score at the moment.
That's the same unit for the Brewers have banged out 10 runs and 10 hits last night.
And I have to tell you the early numbers on Max after 1 start. Oddly enough, Max's first appearance back in 2008 against this Brewer team right here, he was in relief for the Diamondbacks back then through 1 inning, and they roughed him up for 3 runs.
And since then, 10 starts against Milwaukee, and he's got the best ERA of any starting pitcher against the Brewers as a starter, 1.74. Christian Yelich.
First pitch, base hit.
For a base hit. So Yelich has scored 4 times yesterday. So it's hit well against Scherzer, who's got 3 home runs against him, and a solid single to start the bottom of the first.
And now he's 11 for 35 against Max. Fastball away.
It's amazing a guy can have a golden sombrero yesterday and come out swinging and just looks like he can hit a baseball again.
Right over the shortstop's head. Stole a base yesterday. Keep an eye on him.
Here's Jesse Winker DHing again today. Former Cincinnati Red who played in Seattle last year.
Leighton, how you doing, buddy?
Slow, ball one. Winker 1 for 3 yesterday, drove in a run. Just about everybody in this Brewers lineup contributed in their 10-0 pasting of the Mets. Brewers got shut out on opening day by Marcus Stroman and the Cubs. Since then, they've now won 3 in a row, and they scored 22 runs in their last 20 innings after being shut out for the first 16 innings of the year. And Winker pops one up behind third.
This might be a little bit of a problem. Kind of got it. All right.
Makes the catch for the first down.
Near Luxus Metropolitan defense, Escobar back at third base. Nito 2, left-hander out there behind the dish. And out the outfield.
Once the inning is over, guys, I'll update you guys on what I'll be doing with the live streams when I'm at work. If there's a Mets game on, I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do with that so everybody can get the live streams as well while I'm at work.
Drifted. Here's Willie Adames. And he goes after a first pitch
Nice.
fastball and misses. Adames has had 7 career at-bats against Scherzer. He's 0 for 7 with 6 strikeouts. He was 1 for 5 in the game yesterday.
But he has had great success against the Mets.
20 career games against the Mets. 19 runs scored, 19 runs driven in.
7 home runs and a 3.03 average. I'd say he likes playing against the orange and blue.
Yelich at first and 1 out. And Adames rifles one toward left center. That's down for a base hit. Yelich trying to push to third. Kittle throws to third. A good chance there. And then it is Adames.
Oh, boy.
Mistake by Demo, and he knows it. Got to throw that ball to second base.
Yes. Yelich can run balls in the gap. And you just got to keep the double play over.
Reagan just doesn't have the arm to make that play, even if it could have been closer.
Even if you have the arm, it replaces the second base.
That was a misjudgment on Nimmo there.
And the second, third, and 1 out. Infield stays back for Rowdy Tellez. He pops one up right near home plate. Nito waiting for it to come down. And there's
All right, that's a big out.
for Scherzer as Tellez first pitch swinging fouls out.
I'll take that.
Big swinging down and in slider to Tellez. He's off to a good start, 2 for 16. You know, also Gary on that play, if you noted, Lindor kind of took it for granted that Nimmo was going to throw a second. He wasn't lined up for the relay. If he was, he could have cut that ball off.
So that Brian Anderson, who had a big hit in the game yesterday, a 2-run homer against Carlos.
It's your boy. Well, Beatty got hurt today. He irritated his thumb that he had surgically repaired last year. So I don't think he's going to be here anytime soon. But Scherzer can get out of this. Got 2 outs here. Nice pitch.
Atmosphere. Second day, 42,000 here for the home opener yesterday. It's like a library here tonight.
That's early. It's a nice crowd, though.
Could you direct me to the reference section?
All right. 1-2 count to Anderson. But he actually hits home runs to Les, unlike Bogey. Oh, Max.
Anderson had 4 RBI in the season. 3 other guys had 5 on this lineup. In this lineup.
Scherzer ahead 1-2. And Anderson drives one deep to left center field. Headed back toward the rim.
That's 2 runs. Not where Scherzer wanted to pitch that ball. That's not good. No, no, no.
All 3 base hits off of fastballs.
He's not. Let me see where he put that ball. Yeah.
And does not get it.
Does not get it where he wanted it.
See how the ball ran in
2-0 Brewers.
but not in enough.
So 2 runs are in. Now here at Mitchell, the rookie center fielder, flies one out to left. And they should have this one lined up as he retreats.
All right, that does end the inning, but not before Anderson hits a 2-out, 2 RBI double to give the Brewers a 2-0 lead, and that's where we are. Large, thank you, buddy. Yeah, like I said right here, like I said, you saw this in the Marlin game as well on opening day. You know, Scherzer makes 1 or 2 mistakes, and that's what bites him in the ass, and it already did. Like, he was supposed to get where Nito set up, it was high and away, and it was more middle in or middle down the plate. You know, it wasn't letter high where he wanted it. You know, maybe he would have swung under it. You know, when you miss your spot, you're going to get beat. Well, that's what they got to do. They got to respond back. That was what the Mets were good at last year. They responded when they gave up those runs. So I'm just going to redo my score. And I just want to let everybody know that when I'm going to be at work, I'm going to set up live streams during the Mets games. So like a day like, say, Thursday, when I'll probably be at the game, or like maybe like games like 7 o'clock and knowing I have to go to work, I will actually put up a live stream. I won't be here. You'll see like this, and you'll still have the audio and the game day up so you guys can, interact with each other, and basically you guys control the stream during that time when I'm not visually here, and you guys can still get the audio, and you also get game day so you guys can still enjoy the stream as well. Just wanted to let you guys know that. So let me just finish up my scorecard so I can get ready for the quick commercials. So if you just tuned in, the Mets are losing 2-0 going into the top of the second. Brian Anderson hit a 2-out double, and the game is on. Jesus, too quick. Can't even do my damn scorecard. All right, let's get back in the game here.
So the pitch clock has no impact on him. And fouls off the fastball, 2-1.
Big day on Sunday. Got the start. Just clocked that one. That was a bomb.
All right, come on. Come on, Tommy, let's go. Get out. Go foul.
That'll make it out to the fan.
This Fam's first start as a designated hitter.
First 2 games the Mets played against left-handed starters. Marcana was slotted as the DH.
Come on, go Cal. Let's go.
And 3 of the 6 now they've faced lefties. That's good. Buck a chance to use everybody in the starting lineup. 3-2 tried to hold the swing, but he went around. And Miley's got a strikeout his first of the night. So 1 out in the second. The MLB ballpark app will complete your next visit to Citi Field. Match game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB ballpark app today. Here's Canna, who was called out on strikes on a pitch clock violation yesterday, his last time up, and it was really interesting to hear him say.
Well, you get Senga on, what is it? Probably Sunday, because I don't know how they're going to do the rotation with the day off on Friday.
She likes to look up at the scoreboard and see the velocity of the pitch. But the scoreboard here in Milwaukee.
Canna hits a shot that might be gone. Oh, 1-in-track power. Oh, dang.
So Canna was waiting for the pitch velocity to be posted. It wasn't posted, so he wasn't ready in time. He got called on a strike.
I talked to him in the clubhouse. He said it was going like, let's go Brewers. And he did tell me another thing that was interesting. He said, I don't look for miles per hour on the fastball. It's when someone throws me an off-speed pitch, I want to know the differential of the change of pace, which I thought was interesting.
Here's McNeil. And he lines one and on left center field.
That's a base hit. All right, Jeff, there you go.
That second hit. Well, McNeil, who had been hit
Oh,
with
that's
his
one hit I
six.
needed for
Max
my
Scherzer hit off
my
the
betting
bench.
today.
That's only 2 hits in this game. That come from their 2 left-hand hitters, MLB and now McNeil.
Yes, and once again, such great focus on first ball.
Nice, very nice.
First ball hitting. Doesn't matter if it's a fastball. Look at that. Look at the eyes right on the ball. I've never seen anybody so focused on a first pitch. And it doesn't matter. Most guys, when they're first ball hitters, it's first ball fastball. He doesn't mind hitting a changeup or a breaking ball.
Come on, Eddie, let's go. Got to get going.
Big struggle for Escobar really going. Just 1 for 16. He walked after coming off the bench yesterday. There's been a lot of focus on Brett Beatty and his development. Beatty today, though, came out of Syracuse's game with a sore right thumb after swinging the bat, same thumb that he had operated on last year. So that certainly provides a cautionary note. He's scheduled to have an MRI tomorrow. On the way to Escobar, 1-2.
You can see that Miley doesn't throw as hard as he used to. 36 years of age.
And a flick in a right center field on potential to get it.
All right, that ended the inning, so the Mets do not come back and try to get some runs on the board. And now they're going to the bottom of the second. Brewers lead 2-0. So the Mets do get that hit on the board, but nothing else. Mets offense, like I said, there's not a lot of people, doing their job right now. Nimmo's doing their job. McNeil struggling a little bit, but he's starting to get it a little bit. Other than that, no, Marte's doing okay, but Lindor, Alonso, these guys are not doing well, and you need those guys to do well. And that's the problem with this lineup right now. We talked about this. I mean, we're beating the same drum, the same drum over and over again with this, right? Well, we keep on talking about over and over and over again. Mike, I appreciate the super sticker, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It sucks, because this lineup can be. You could see the way it is, right? They're a team that relies on the multiple hits in a row, right? They're not a big power team. They're a middle of the road when it comes to home runs, and that is the issue that the Mets seem to have when they're not hitting, or at least a couple of guys in the lineup's not hitting. We start to get in trouble there. All right, Sean, have a good day, buddy. And that's where the Mets are right now. It's unfortunate, but you know what? They did it last year, almost all year. And that is something that you just have to feel. I wouldn't say that, Cezzo, not yet. Like I said, this was a team that when they get 3 or 4 hitters in this lineup that are going well, the lineup will get multiple hits in a row. This team relies on multiple hits, situational hitting, getting guys first to third. That's what they did well last year. With a similar lineup this year, that's what you're expecting again. All right, guys, so bottom of the second, Scherzer on the mound, 2-0 Brewers. See if Scherzer can settle down here. Once again, Mike Minnie, thank you for the super sticker, buddy.
Scherzer strikes out Victor Caratini with a curveball for a strike. Caratini's got great career numbers against Scherzer, 7 for 15, including a home run. Switch hitting catcher. Lines one down the left field line, foul. That's 0-2. Caratini spent last year with Milwaukee, got in 95 games at 199 with 9 home runs. Spent the bulk of his career as the backup to Wilson Contreras with the Cubs. His second start this year. He yanks that one foul. They've been very aggressive early in this game with Scherzer. He threw just 13 pitches to 6 batters in the first inning, gave up 2 runs and 3 hits. And Caratini reaches for the changeup and bounces it out to short.
All right, 1 out.
Your front door expert coach. Lowest walks and hits per innings pitched since 1920. Kershaw 1, Pedro 2, Scherzer 3 ahead of Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, that's what the Mets. This is what they went by. They spent a lot of money on that pitcher staff. That's the way they're going with it. Again, I don't necessarily always agree with that. I do think you need a little bit more balance.
PS over 1,500 right now. That's a pretty good neighborhood.
Popped it up. Lonzo's under it. Quick 2 outs for Scherzer. I do agree with that, David. I think the Correa deal fell through. I do think that the optimism, I want to say optimism, but momentum, like the extreme excitement that the Correa possible deal brought was like craziness. Like I was at work when I got the news at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like it was that crazy. So
Joey Weaver, Eduardo is famously terrified of cats. Those are some, I don't know, wire-looking cats. I don't know where they were before the game. 1-1 to Weaver. It was 1 for 3 yesterday. Scherzer looking for a 1-2-3 inning against the lower third of the order after a rough first inning.
Ramon, how you doing?
Weaver takes a slider off the plate. It's 2-1. Weaver, 24 years old, 21 home runs in the minors last year. Tons of power, lots of speed, great throwing arm. Very unusual approach at the plate. And Scherzer gets that one in for a strike. It's 2-2.
Excuse me, guys.
A lot of imaginations. He says cut down on them significantly since college.
He pulls his hands real high and levels that bat off. It's just a lot of movement.
And then the strike, he winds up as spread out as any hitter I've ever seen.
Well, he's 6'4", big monster. So he's a strong guy. Sits back on that back leg.
Just low. 2 out walk.
Scherzer issues his first walk tonight. It comes from 2 out of the second.
Well, the philosophy for the Mets was get in really good pitching, and they thought they did that with the Verlander and a couple of other guys. I think you need a little bit more balance. Stolen base.
Well, we mentioned last night when we came in.
Well, David, you say that, but let's be honest. You think Philly fans were saying that going 0-4 starting the season? They're probably pissed off, right? Because the people that they brought in haven't been doing the job, right? And the same thing with the Padres. What have the Padres accomplished, right? What have they won?
Third stolen base of the series for the Brewers, and now Yelich fouls one off. There's going to be a lot more running in the game this year.
The Phillies had a month run last year. We get excited. People don't really pay attention. Like, it's not like the Phillies had a great season and then took it into the playoffs. They had a month of a great season, and all of a sudden people just assumed they were a great team. All right, that should end the inning, and it does. There you go. So going to the top of the third, still 2-0 Brewers. All right, guys. So we're going to the top of the third. Okay, David, and the Mets don't? Like, come on. I don't want to see that. That's what I'm saying, David. Where were you last year when there was no Marte, right? When Scherzer and DeGrom were down for 12 weeks out of the season. But nobody wants to bring that up. You can't bring up injuries and make that as an excuse. That's stupid. I'm sorry. It's extremely stupid. I'm sorry. They really do. It's a stupid comment. No offense to you. But Marte missed the whole month of September. One of the most dynamic players in their lineup, who was one of the linchpins to that lineup, was not there in September. When you had Scherzer and DeGrom miss a total of 12 weeks of the season, 12 weeks, that's a total, what is that, around 13 to 14, maybe even 15 starts? Where were you saying that when the Mets had the injuries? You can't just say, well, the Phillies have injuries. So when the Phillies were doing good without Harper last year, later in the year, until when he was not in the lineup, they were doing good. All of a sudden, now they have the best GM. Now, I really like Dave Dombrowski. Don't get me wrong. I think he makes a lot of good decisions. But let's not act like the Phillies were one of the best teams in baseball last year with the payroll they have and the money they spent. They won 87 games last year, and they had 1 month of a hot season. And they took it into the playoffs. The same thing the Mets did in 2015. They had a good run in the second half. They weren't a great team. The 2019 Nationals weren't a great team. Made it to the World Series and won it. Let's not act like, but David, they were clutch. You had 2 guys over 100 RBIs last year and over 50-something home runs in total. So, 65 home runs in between the both of them. The other problem is you can't just rely on Lindor and Alonso as a part of your lineup. Well, is McNeil very clutch of a hitter? I don't think so. He's a great hitter, but clutch, I don't know about that. But, you got to worry about the rest of the lineup. I'm not going to worry about Lindor and Alonso when I got to worry about Canna and all those other guys. The Vogelbacks, the DHs of the world. That's what you got to worry about. All right, Nito's out. Well, Davey, you say that, but let me ask you something. What have the Phillies – now, Dave Dombrowski has been the GM for, what, 3 years now? 4 years? What have they won? They finally made the playoffs last year. The Padres still haven't won a World Series and are always considered one of the best couple of teams in baseball. So what's the problem? Executives are no executives.
Whatever team they did in Arizona because Scherzer came up the year that Miley was drafted.
Again, it fits everybody's narrative. When the Mets not playing well, it's the end of the world. Nobody's clutch. When the Mets scored 6 runs against the Marlins, nobody was saying nothing. You see, you can't have it both ways. Nimmo got a base hit. Yes. Second hit of the game. We keep on saying great executives. Executives also have to win, right? Dave Dombrowski, I guarantee you in 2 years if the Phillies don't win, will be out on his ass just like Epler if he don't win, and the GM of the Padres if they don't win. All the money these teams are spent, these GMs will be fired. And in combination, the Mets had more wins last year than the Padres and the Phillies. Just because they went further in the playoffs is great and all, and I understand that. That was a misjudgment on Epler at the trade deadline, and I killed him for it. Oh, outside. But David, that's fine. But that always doesn't translate to wins. The Phillies had a better lineup than the Mets last year. They won 14 games less. Did they go further? Yes. But let's not act like the offense was the problem in the playoffs. It was the pitching.
But it is amazing how one pitch, when you add that cutter, all of a sudden you're a different pitcher against righties. Well, I mean, he doesn't really.
I never said that, David. Never said that. I think Dombrowski is better. Dombrowski has a World Series under his belt.
He mixes in an occasional curveball.
Nemo at first with 1 out. Watches that cutter.
Okay, David, you keep on bringing up names, but that doesn't always translate to success. I mean, come on.
First adopted the cutter mid-2017 for Buck Showalter's Orioles, by the way. He was getting hammered during a game, and he just said, I'm only throwing the cutter from here on out. And it worked.
That might drop. All right, here we go. Nimmo might go to third. Nimmo stays at second. All right. What about Phillies pitching this year? They've been absolutely terrible to start the season. And I don't think that the Phillies – I see, this is the problem. The Phillies do this. The Phillies make basically 2 moves all year, all offseason. You're a frustrated Met fan, but that doesn't mean the Phillies are automatically good. I'm sorry. You seen him pitch in the first 4 games of the season? And I don't think he's necessarily that good. And I said that on record prior to the season.
First 5 games of the year, the Mets are hitting just 184 with runners in scoring position.
All right, Frankie, come on. Let's go.
Takes the cutter low and in for ball 1. Still fly out to right his first time up. It's a tying runs on base and a 2-0 game. Pete Alonso waiting on deck. Two guys, Lindor and Alonso, last year combined.
Exactly, John. Have you seen it? You think the Mets pitching hasn't been one of the better ones in the league? Phillies have been at the extreme bottom, and they made a lot of moves for their pitching. Oh, right at this. Damn. There's really nothing he could have done there. And that was down the line, but he was playing the line, double play. The 5-4-3 double play. Oof. That's the way to kill the rally. Going to the bottom of the third, no score. All righty. I think the Mets are still going to win the division because I don't see anybody that is actually, looking great on the season. And, you see the Mets somewhat struggling. Again, did you see Philly's Twitter? I don't think you looked at that, David, right? I don't think you looked at that. They're looking to freaking fire people already. 0-4. I'm sorry, that's the team that made the World Series last year. Again, you talk to Philly fans in the offseason, they thought they were the best team in baseball. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. Again, look at the last 6 years of champions and not including the pandemic year. It was teams that had really good 2 months of the season at the end, and it changed everything. Look, Pitt, listen, I'm one of the guys, I don't care what Philly fans say. Nola is an average pitcher. He is too inconsistent to be an ace. The Phillies still believe him to be an ace. I don't believe that. As soon as Wheeler walked in the door, he was the ace of the staff. Nola is way too inconsistent. He'll have a gem, and then he'll have 3 rocky starts. Then he'll have 2 great starts, and then 3 bad starts. That's not an ace. I'm sorry. It's not. I don't think the Mets will finish third. I'm sorry. Because, let's be honest. The Mets had a better start to the season than the Phillies and the Braves. The Braves haven't necessarily looked great. They already lost Fried. I don't think it's that serious, but they lost him too. Listen, nobody's going to deny the fact that the lineups for the Mets, the Phillies, and the Braves, the Mets are third on that list. But again, that did not translate last year, right? The Braves played 1 more game more than the Braves in the postseason with an extremely better lineup. So what does that mean? So we're at the bottom of the third, 2-0 Brewers. Well, John, that's freaking up the Epler, man. Like I said, he had a chance to do it last year. I think he's going to do it this year because I think he knows his job's on the line, to be honest.
Scherzer in his first start against Milwaukee, all of the Marlins scoreless for the first 5.
Well, we'll see, Hayden.
Give a 3 extra base hits, including a Garrett Cooper home run to tie the game. And then the Mets got a couple of runs for the next 10.
Oh, Hayden, I wanted to ask you if you wanted to do that Sunday night show with me, like to do the weekly recap and the week preview. If you want to do that with me Sunday night, like around 6, I'll try to do that every week. If you want to join up with me, that would be great. So we can go over the week prior and the week ahead.
Still up and down and away. Still basics in this game, basic tenets.
It's that simple, Keith. Why can't everybody do it?
Well, they can't put it where they want.
Joe, listen, I don't even want to be. Oh, nice pitch, strike 3. All right.
There's the first strikeout for Scherzer after Max. That's the career strikeout number 3,200. Passed by his teammate Justin Verlander.
Look, yesterday was, a shit show. But if you look at, besides yesterday, the first 4 games of the year, the Mets did not give up more than 3 runs. So, like I said, you lost 2-1 on Friday, the second game of the series, against the Marlins. I'm sorry, you give up 3 runs or less, you should win those ball games. Yesterday, everybody has those games. The Mets just happen to have them in game 5.
This inning, second time around, throwing breaking ball to these guys.
goes Carrasco in the dugout.
Popped up. Should stay in play. Come on, Tomas. You got that. There you go. 2 outs.
Good job. 2 hands, 2 outs. Carrasco in the dugout, and we talked about Showalter today, and he is certain that Carrasco is healthy. It was a little alarming.
All right, Cesar, I understand that. Brewers, Marlins, I get that. But the Brewers are a good team that are probably going to be about 5 or 6 teams over 500. Probably contend for a playoff spot.
88.7 mile per hour fastball, which is something that Carlos has never really.
And if you look at the Marlins, again, they are a team. I told you, they got a nice couple of veterans in there. Their pitching staff is really good. You know, they're going to cause trouble in the NL East. There's no doubt about that. You know, I think they can completely destroy their team. Is the fact that the Marlins have a lot of guys playing out of position, which I don't think helps their defense at all, even though they made a lot of nice plays during the Mets series. Yeah, the Marlins are. Like, they absolutely are. You could just see it watching the games.
Velocity is going to be an issue for a lot of pitchers as their outings go along. If you're used to taking 25 seconds between pitches, and
you know, the Braves got the Nationals the first 3 games of the series, and they lost one of those games. All right, that is a pop-up. Should end the inning. All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3 for Scherzer, going to the top of the, what the hell is it? 4th. Sorry. And, you know, listen. Yeah, well, David, I understand that. Like, I think Jeter, well, Mattingly was there for a while, so I'm not going to go crazy with him. But Jeter thought that he was going to bring a type of exuberance to that team where he thought they were going to spend money. Maybe they sold him a bill of goods, probably, but still, you know, the point is the fact that, yeah, the Mets don't play the Marlins and the Nationals 19 times, but guess what? They play a lot more of the terrible American League that the Mets and a lot of the NL East didn't get to face last year. You know, if you watch the American League, there's not a lot of good teams in the American League at all. And, you know, the American League is absolutely garbage. Like, I mean, if you can name 2 teams in each division that are contending for the playoff, that's a lot. And, you know, in the National League, you probably got about 8 teams that could probably contend for a division. You know, in total, actually, it's 9. Well, actually 7, if you really think about it. And then everybody else. So what can you do? Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I was not happy. You know, I was all over the channel. People were killing me about the Vogelback trade. I thought it was absolute garbage because he's not a home run hitter. He is a guy that is an on-base guy that you don't want him being on base. You want him rounding the bases, scoring a run, by a home run. When you hit 17 home runs a year, you are not a home run hitter. I'm sorry. If you don't hit more than 20 home runs a year, I don't consider you a home run hitter. All right, Pete Alonso leading off the top of the 4th, trail 2-0. David, I have the Cubs being the improved team and fighting for a wild card spot.
Miley was a Chicago Cub, but he spent most of the year on the injured list. He had no injury coming out of spring training. He made 8
Come on, Pete, let's go. Grant, what's up, buddy?
And so those 8 starts were hit, but as has generally been the case with Miley, when he's healthy, he pitches well. He pitched to a 3.16 ERA.
Helen Keller.
8 starts last year. I mean, he's no day at the beach.
Yeah, David, exactly. That's the whole point. I don't want a DH with on-base percentage. I don't care about that. The Mets are heavy on that, but I don't like that as a DH. It makes no sense to me. All right. A lot of pop-out fouls by the behind the catcher. 1 out. I agree with that. I think the Mets should have got Schwarber. I think that would have been a totally different type of a lineup. Getting those 35 to 40 home runs in that lineup, protecting Pete Alonso, making him get more fastballs, it would be crazy. Tommy Pham pops a lot of pop-ups. Uh-oh. Call it. Yeah, I don't, like I said, I was really down on Epler in the, if he didn't get bats at the deadline and did something with the bullpen, even though the bullpen wasn't really a problem, and made some moves in the bullpen, I would have had a little bit more good things to say about Epler. But because he didn't do nothing at all, and those trades were absolutely garbage when they happened, and I know they weren't going to happen at all. I didn't think they were going to be good moves, and they turned out not to be. I mean, you traded 4 guys for Ruff, and now he's gone. Yeah, exactly, David. That's the problem there. If he would have went to Texas or Detroit, who cares? But now he faces you in the NL East. Tanner pops it up. Well, I said this on Friday with the Mets and their problem against left-handed pitchers. The problem with left-handed pitchers is the fact that you see the lineup. You got guys in there that I don't like the left-handed lineup. I just don't like it. And again, this is the problem when you have a platoon at DH. Doesn't work. Give me a guy that can bat 265, 270, who can hit lefties and righties for average. And if you want power with the line, right? Give me a guy that can bat 270 with 20 home runs at DH, who can hit lefties and righties. Because, like Tommy Pham had a great night on Saturday. What day was it? Saturday. He had a great day. He had a great day on Saturday. And the next day, Vogelback was in the lineup. So the guy who was hot, you're sitting down because there's a righty on the mound for Vogelback. Makes no sense. That does not work. And I keep on saying it over and over again. The platoons at DH does not work. Pham had a great day. 3 RBIs, 3 hits. Looked good. And then he put Vogelback in the next day. How does that? I don't care what analytical sense it makes. Because that's where analytics completely screws up the gut feeling of the game. The obvious situations that analytics doesn't show you. This is the problem. And again, when it comes to lefties, when the Mets face them, you know what they don't do against left-handed pitching? They don't work the counts. Right-handed pitching, they work the counts. Left-handed pitching, they seem like they're too fast to swing the bat, and they don't work the counts. And again, I'm telling you right now, the Mets look at the analytical side of the DH platoon and see it works. They see Darren Ruff. Wow, he has a OPS of like 900 against lefties. Well, great, but that's when he plays basically every day. He was playing almost every day with the Giants. It just doesn't work.
Anderson's now hit in all 5 games for the Brewers. He's gone 6 for 12 and driven in 6 runs in the 5 games.
All right, Max, let's go. Max is now throwing less of his fastball and more breaking balls, which the Brewers have had trouble with the last 2 innings.
Shot of adrenaline or blood transfusions works wonders, especially when you're getting out of a perennial last place club.
Ted, he's kind of a similar guy, to be honest with you. He's another guy, he'll hit for average, most likely, but he's not a big power guy. I need somebody that's either a 270 hitter or 265, 270 hitter that can give you 20 home runs. I don't know if Murphy can do that anymore. He might be average-wise, but I don't know about the home runs. Oh, where was that pitch? Jeez. Oh, yeah, Porter knew what he was doing. It's just that he, liked to show his penis around. town. That was it was a great move, Porter, for sure.
Foot inside. That's like Ryan Anderson. And big blow against Carlos Carrasco. A 2-run home run to the shelf in center field.
Look, we know who the Mets are trying to get, and we're playing the team that is the GM right now.
He likes it.
You know, that's the guy they want. Nice pitch. There we go.
Max is now retired 5 overall. Well, the National League Central is not exactly a powerhouse. The Cardinals and Brewers both had winning records last year, but the Cubs and Reds and Pirates languish. In fact, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh each lost 100 games. That's
Epler was a backup plan. They thought they could have got another GM, and Epler was out there, and that's what they did. He was like their third choice.
Winning the division, only to be knocked out early by the Phillies in the postseason. Mitchell takes back to a curveball that misses.
All right, guys, give me a second.
Mitchell flying to left is first time up. Mitchell just 24 years old, UCLA product. First round pick by the Brewers in 2020.
All right, so Scherzer's definitely switched up his game plan. Started early with fastballs, and now a lot of breaking balls and high fastballs.
Scherzer gets 82-2. Mitchell came up last year and did a nice job in a brief trial. 68 bats. He did over 300. Stole 8 bases in just 28 games. Got that kind of speed. Left and the left should be easy.
All right, should be a can of corn. 2 outs.
2 out. It's the first time we've used that this year. So Max is 7.
Yeah, David, I understand that part, that Porter made the trade, the Lindor trade, but Cohen was going to figure out that trade no matter what. He wanted to make the big splash as the new owner.
Better left-hand hitter than right-hand hitter. He's got power.
Max crowds with a fastball, gets a strike, 0-1. To enjoy a lot of success coming inside against those left-hand hitters. That was way with the changeup. This is 1-1.
Well, we actually haven't seen him made him do it, right?
Caratini, 29 years old, originally drafted by the Braves, who traded him to the Cubs. That's drilled to right field. Marte drifting back into his hand off the base of the ball. Caratini takes a turn.
All right, only a single out of that.
To try to go to second. Marte knew he had no chance to catch that ball, set himself up to play the Cara perfect. Got that bullet off the wall. And Caratini has the son for a single.
Well, we don't know if Billy Epler can make those trades. Again, we don't know what Cohen was telling him last year at the deadline, right? I don't know if it's true or not, but there was some talk that the front office, a lot of people around Epler and Cohen didn't want to trade their prospects to get what they wanted. Oh, all right, Mark. Good recovery. Nice catch by Canna to recover from that first step. And they got out of the inning with no runs. That's good. Good. All right, so we're going to the top of the 5th. Brewers still lead 2-0. Mets better start scoring here. We got to get some runs here. We're almost halfway through the game here. Well, Michael, I said it. I said it with Taiwan Walker. Small ballparks, he can't pitch well in. He has a hard time doing that because even though he's a sinker ball pitcher, he has problems keeping the ball in the ballpark, number one. And number two, when you play in big ballparks and the majority of your starts are at home, like it was with the Mets, and you got that luxury of having a bigger ballpark, a lot of long fly balls that were warning track power are home runs in ballparks like Citizens Bank, like he pitched yesterday in Yankee Stadium. It's a problem. And I said that, and not saying that Walker's a bad pitcher because he's not. He's a good pitcher, but he has to be in a certain place to be that good pitcher. And that's the problem. As good as he looked, yeah, well, the Phillies, at some point they got to start, hitting the damn ball. I don't know what the score is right now, but I know they're winning 3-0 at the time. I don't know what it is anymore. Let's see what it looks like. All right, so there we go. So I see when you put game day up now, you don't even see the scores anymore, but I don't know what the Yankee score is. Mark, that's a good question. One of the moderators, maybe? I don't know. I didn't. I wasn't even on my mouse. So I think because you keep on saying Plunk Anderson, I mean, you could say it as many times. They're not going to do it. I mean, what did he do wrong? He hit the ball. He played baseball, Mark. I mean, you can't plunk everybody that hits a baseball. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong except play the game. All right, so Jeff McNeil is leading off 4-0. Oh, okay. All right, well, the Phillies got to win eventually, Wait, well, aren't the Phillies 0-4? I mean, it's about time they win, no? And Shimmy, Scherzer's overrated. At the moment, he gave up 2 runs. He'll probably go 7 innings. Oh, McNeil got hit by the pitch.
That's the 6th man who's been hit in the first 6 games. Yeah, that would be a record pace. Still, Castro has had those. And Castro is the most prolific at being hit by pitches in the history of the game. So I guess McNeil. On the guard?
No, it did not. They got him on the back. The back elbow.
Well, Ramon, I never said I liked Epler. I never said that. At all.
Check that. He had 2 last year. Now he's at 1 this year. Escobar will find out the center.
Well, I don't think they overrate him. I think the fact of the matter is that Scherzer, at his age, is still probably one of the better pitchers in baseball. He's still a guy that can be an ace of the staff. Is he the pitcher he was 8 years ago? No, of course not.
Allowed 2 runs in their first 4 games. They've only allowed 1 run tonight, but Contra has been his usual self.
I mean, could they have a similar year like last year? Yeah, sure. But if anybody actually was trying to get that 3rd wild card spot last year, there could be one team that might be a little bit better than the Phillies if they end up cold in the beginning and come up hot late. They snuck into the 3rd wild card last year. Hey, all right, Escobar got a hit. Times are turning, guys. Escobar gets a hit. All right. I mean, we got to be World Series bound now. Escobar got a hit. Things are turning, guys.
That was a change up there. It was in the middle, inside corner. He wanted to get it away.
I was looking at Escobar's career stats and looking at his first month of the season. Not saying that this is necessarily going to happen again, but he is a somewhat of a slow starter. Not great. He had better starts, but he does have slow starts. But no excuse. He needs to
That's his real hair. It's not his real color.
All right, so Tomas Nido up 2 on, nobody out on the top of the 5th for the Mets. I think the Mets gotta work the count here, work Miley a little bit. They've been swinging way too early in counts here, putting themselves in holes.
Now Anderson moved back, but Tellez at first base on the grass. I don't like that at all.
No hit for ones on the first 2 pitches.
Yeah, they just tell him that.
Carl fouled on the right side, 1-2. Greg Counsell, the longest tenured manager in the National League.
That's hard to believe, isn't it?
Eighth season.
Time flies.
Third longest tenured manager in the major leagues.
One of the most unorthodox stances that you get.
Well, we're a little less than an hour in, and we're already in the top of the fifth. Come on, Nito, base it here. Ah, come on. Swing at that shit. All right, got Brandon Nimmo up, who's 2 for 2 on the game. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button.
Brandon's on base percentage up to 478 in the first week of the season.
I mean, David probably, but, you know, Escobar never had a year like last year. Like, was bad all year except for 1 month. So it's, like I said, it was a little shocking with Escobar, to be honest with you, because he's never had a year like last year. Now, could you say, is he getting up there in age? That could be a possibility. But then he hit, hold on a second, guys. Wouldn't it be like, he would be worse in September, knowing that he's older? So I don't think it's age. Like, I don't know, like, he's had real slow starts. Like, that's like his MO throughout his career. Even when he had his 40 home run year, he actually had a slow start to season. But I don't think anybody believes that he's a top 5 pitcher. Top 10, probably. I mean, he did have a under 3 ERA last year. That might be a double play. No. All right, 2 outs now, first and third.
So the inning continues with runners and corners for Marte.
Another pitch sequence here of Marte. Remember, as Steve mentioned, that the cutter carved him up. There's a cutter right there. 3 pitches inside up the cutter over the middle, and then he threw the changeup. And he got it up and didn't get it away enough.
All right, Marte up with 2 outs. Pitching visit from the coach.
Were the cutter in, and the last pitch was the changeup, which he didn't get away enough.
No, Jimmy,
Pitching decisions, Chris Hope. Pitching.
you know, I understand what you're saying, but I believe what did Scherzer's ERA last year? Was it 2.36? And he had, what, 23 starts? So, I mean, if he pitched the remainder of the year, and he did pitch hurt last year, as a lot of people said, again, still no excuse. I think if you're hurt, don't pitch, in my opinion. You know, I think if you're going out there hurt, you're hurting your team. I just think that, you know, when you have an under 3 ERA and he's at his age, you know, he had a better year than Garrett Cole. Nobody will say that because Garrett Cole pitched more games than him. But Garrett Cole almost had a 4 ERA last year. But people were talking him like a top 5 pitcher, which he's clearly not. Well, I think if Eppa doesn't do the job this year, I think he might be on his way out. All right, 2 outs, first and third for the Mets. Marte up. Marte can get his first home run of the year. Oof.
Defensively on the infield, Terrain, the second baseman, playing up the middle. Another change.
Shimmy, I'm not sure about that. I think he had enough games pitched to be a part of that, but I wouldn't be shocked if he was top 6 or 7. Good eye, good eye. 3-1. There's a good pitch to hit here.
And you saw him kind of shake his head. He really wanted that call. It was close.
He hasn't walked a batter yet tonight.
That ball might end the inning. Ah, damn it. All right, so the Mets don't score. We're a runner in scoring position. Not good. Got a hit, had a couple of men on, but did not get the job done. All right, so bottom of the fifth, 2-0 Brewers. Again, the offense is not helping. Like I said, so far through 4 innings, 2 runs, not great, not terrible. But Scherzer looked like he's found his groove a little bit. You got to start scoring runs. You got to start scoring runs. You can't have your pitchers going into a game when you give up 3 runs or less. Look, every game, the Mets were, 3? They gave up 3 runs or less the entire season except for yesterday. You can't lose those ball games. That's the problem. That's the problem we have. And go back last year, the games we lost last year, you can go through the entire year. There were games where the Mets gave up 3 runs or less, especially in the second half. The Mets lost a lot of those games because they did not score. It was the Marlins series. In the 6th inning of the Marlins series, they were probably going on probably about 13, 14 innings, maybe a little bit more. No, actually, we're past that out. Probably about 16 innings, 17 innings. Well, this is what we talked about with the Mets, right? When they got a couple of guys going in the lineup that are hitting well, they're hard to beat because they put the ball in play, they work the counts, they play situational baseball, go first to third on base hits. But when you don't have guys hitting, you can't rely on the power because the Mets don't have a lot of it. That's the problem that the Mets have. And again, this lineup did help win 101 games last year, but it's clear that the Mets, even when you're struggling, a hitter can, connect on one and hit one over the fence, even when they're struggling. When you're struggling, it's hard to get base hits, right? And that's a base hit.
Strong kid, fast bat. They say it doesn't matter what you do before as long as you get that bat into the
Shimmy, that's a possibility too. I underestimated them, but that doesn't mean they're still not a good team. Listen, are they going to challenge the Cardinals for a playoffs for the division? I don't think so, but that doesn't mean they can't win 90 games. And 90 wins is 9 games over 500, right? It's not a bad year. 59 pitches for Scherzer, so pitch count is low. Well, David, the Mets dominated the Phillies last year during the season. They didn't play them in the playoffs. The Mets they were 1 game under 500 against the Braves. It's not like the Braves beat them 14 games to 5, like the Mets did against the Phillies. And the Padres, I believe we split the season series, and the Mets didn't face the Padres in the playoffs. I mean, the Mets didn't play well against the Padres in the playoffs. I mean, again, David, the Mets won 101 games last year. And that was the same record that the Braves had, just different on the tiebreaker. And the Phillies lost 14 games less. Nobody was talking about the Phillies lineup last year until the playoffs. Oh, this might be a double play. Got it. Yeah, double play. Got him off at first. There we go. 2 outs. Nice play by Starlin Marte. There we go. That is a 9-9. That is a 9-9-3 double play. Sorry, 9-3 double play. There we go. You don't hear that very often. Here we go.
Marte fortunately not playing as deep right
Here we
field.
go.
Max very animated, of course. He's got to keep his eye on these steals. He's got to watch where the ball is. Take a peek over your shoulder to see what's going on.
Nice play. Maybe that can get us going a little bit. At least we hope.
2 out, and nobody on. And Wicker with a half-hearted cut. And down the count of 2.
Now Marte from 1, he knew he had plenty of time.
Should have stood up that way.
That's an easy throw from your knee. And you got to do it like Marte. Like it's Mickey Mouse.
It felt like it, Slappy. For real.
On the chain there.
Is that because his plotter close? Right?
Absolutely.
1-2 coming. It's 2 out. Wicker 2-2.
Well, that's the hardest pitch Scherzer threw in 95.
Brewers come to Citi Field in June. Citi Field fans will get to reacquaint themselves with their favorite heel, Jesse Wicker.
You're setting the stage here.
And he rolls over one down.
All right, that should end the inning. Here we go. Top of the 6th. Still down 2-0. See if the Mets can get something going here. They left a couple of guys on base last inning. All right. So the Mets will have a 3-4-5. Lindor, Alonso, and Pham. Well, Michael, not always right. That's obvious. No way I'm tooting my own horn here. But again, it comes down to the fact, like, people keep on bringing up the Phillies, the Braves, the Padres lineup. The Braves caught the Mets the last week of the season. All right. It's not like they were with us the entire year. I mean, the Mets were, what were they, 6th in the league in scoring with a team that was middle of the pack in home runs, right? Not saying that that's the MO or that's the way you should set up a lineup. I think they should have done more with the lineup power-wise. But they did win 101 games last year with everybody bitching and moaning that the Mets didn't have enough power. Everybody started talking about that, right? When Marte went down, was Marte the big power hitter that we were missing? No. But he was one of the big spark plugs of that lineup that the Mets counted on all year, and it wasn't there in September. Again, other guys had to step up, and they didn't get the job done. That's on the Mets. But again, we act like the Mets won 85 games last year, or how about this, 87 games last year and snuck into the playoffs and struggled. All right, they won 101 games last year, lost the division the last week of the season, and struggled from that point. That's it. Like, that's how you do it. Like, was Philly fans so excited with an 87-win season? No, they didn't get excited until the playoffs happened, right? I can assure you, if you ask any Phillies fan and give them truth serum, and of course the commercial's back. Lindor is up, top of the 6th, 2-0 Brewers.
Miley has been splendid in his first start of the season. Scattered 5 hits. Hasn't walked a batter, struck out 3. 72 pitches in the first 5 innings.
All right, that's a shot, and right at Yelich. Damn. Well, that was one of the hardest hit balls Lindor hit, and Yelich was right there.
Big bank of lights that goes all the way down the right field line, and that left fielder looks directly into that bank. Alonso is 0 for 2. He takes a changeup for a strike. The bullpen is moving. Peter Strzelecki was a breakout start for the Brewers last year. Is up.
Well, Hector, it seems like the formula of baseball now: get hot in the second half and roll it into the playoffs. Oh, that might be a shot. That might be gone. Oh, wow. That ball died. Wow. Thought he hit that harder than that. 2 outs. Shimmy? It's about time, right? And I know they faced the Hawks 2 years ago, but they weren't ready there. I think this team's going to be a surprise in the playoffs. All right, this might end. Oh, it might go foul. Oh, nice catch. Oh, that was a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Mets. They made 3-4-5. Wow. All right, guys. So bottom of the 6th. No, 2-0 Brewers. No, I do have cable, Slappy. So yeah. Well, I think the Mets haven't scored a run since the 6th inning, if I'm not mistaken, of the game on Sunday against the Marlins. Pop-up Tuesdays. Sounds like it. It feels like it, right? And like Hector was saying, yeah, it might be, it seems like that's the way to do it. But again, there's still a perfect way of there's no scientific method saying this is how you win a World Series, right? The Houston Nationals were a good team the entire year, right? They won, 106 games last year? They were good the entire season and won the World Series. They went the route that the Mets were going, or the Braves were going for that matter. The Braves were good since June 1st on. So they only had 2 bad months when the Braves had, June, July, August, 4 good months of their season. So what ways to go about it? The Phillies were garbage all the way until September. So you want to win 87 games and pray that you get hot at the right time or not? There's no right way of doing it, right? A 106-win team won the World Series, right? In 2019, how many wins did the Nationals have? 89? The Phillies made the World Series with 87 wins. There's no right way of going about it, right? The Braves, I don't know how many games they won in 2021. What was it, 93, 94 games? They had a really good year, but no one picked them to win the World Series in 2021, and they won it. So, well, we shall see, guys. Well, JL, you know what, though? We said that last year, and what happened, right?
Won the game 1-0 in 1 hour and 57 minutes. Yeah, that was when you had Randy Jones out there.
Exactly, Ken. You can make that as a perfect example.
You get these great pitching performances. You got a chance to crack 2 out.
I'm telling you, the everyday players really learn to love it because it's just an hour less out there on your feet. Over the course of the season, you can be that much stronger in August and September.
Thomas pops for a mile high home plate. Either trying to get away from the umpire. Comes back to the screen, but it's too early. Well, the final game of the season opening trip will be tomorrow. It's a 1:40 New York time start. Currently against a 1-1 Dave Peterson for the Mets. Brewers get their ace Milwaukee Brewers out for his second start.
Burns got touched up in his first start in Chicago.
Yeah, it's a little ahead of the streaming for sure. Hey, Jordan, the Phillies actually looking like they can play baseball finally? Well, JL, they have it. They're just not using it. That's the big gripe that everybody's talking about. You got 3 guys that in spring training in Vientos, Mauricio, and Beatty who lit up spring training. The Braves give their guys the opportunities.
That was his choice, and he was very upset by what he heard. The skies one to left center.
Well, John, don't worry. Let's see if your bullpen can hold it.
One out. Let's check in with the studio. David back in ABS Game Break, brought to you by your local Mound builders. David.
Thanks, Gary. Braves and Cardinals in St. Louis already 2-0 Braves in the second. When Steven Matz is taken deep by Orlando.
Steven Matz getting beat up by the Braves. We've seen a lot of that. Well, Michael, we did have, if you watch the Marlin game, Marlin series, there was a lot of luck that the Mets got, especially in center field with Chisholm misplaying balls. So, who's pitching? It's that young kid, right? For the Phillies? Oh, that's gone. Scherzer left a hanging curve to Tellez. 3-0 Brewers.
Out over the plate, meant to be inside.
Oh, okay, it was Trout. I thought that's who it was.
Oh, it's the Chiefs.
Cheese head for the home run hitter.
Well, the thing that Max is having trouble with is the home run ball. Seems like that's the issue right now. Yeah, he's still very good, but what he does, here's the problem. Max can't make those mistakes over the plate anymore, right? He's not making it, he's not throwing 98, 99 where a hitter couldn't catch up to it, right? When he makes a mistake. That was a curveball that he left over the plate. I mean, at the moment, if he only pitches 6 innings, he gave up 3 runs in 6 innings against the Marlins. Again, not what you want from your ace. But, it's not like the Mets offense is helping him either. You got to feel like you got to be perfect on the mound. That's the way it's feeling right now with the Mets offense struggling. Well, John, I noticed that, and I think a lot of the players are, mostly the pitchers. How the hell did he hit that ball? Wow. Yeah, well, I honestly think you notice the offense around the league is a hell of a lot better, right? The scoring. Well, JL, he won the Cy Young last year, and he was perfectly fine. Max, I worry about more.
It's so weird. In all places, America's Dairyland. It's if I recall, everybody's got cream.
That's gone. Woo! That's a shot. That's another curveball hanging.
This was a no doubter off the bat that Max knew too. I was looking at his reaction.
Oh yeah, well, John, I think a lot of people. I noticed that. I know that. I'm not saying Scherzer is the best pitcher in baseball, but he's. I would say he's probably a lot better than average. Great, no.
What's interesting here, I've noticed Scherzer's throwing that slow, sweeping grip with left-handers, and he usually throws that to right-hand hitters. He throws a hard little cutter to the left-handers. He's not doing it tonight.
Well, Danny Reyes, who was just called up today, with Tommy Hunter going on the injured list Winter absorbed 2 difficult innings yesterday. Go down with that field, but we saw Reyes' spring training very impressive.
Well, JL, that's a good point.
Orioles last year. 1-2 coming pitching, and he's out.
Oh, that might be gone too. Yep. Back to back. 3 home runs in the inning. All on that curveball.
I wonder if Max Scherzer has ever given up 3 in a row. I bet you guys. This is not a breaking ball, Gary.
All 3 of these home runs were on the curveball.
He tried to throw the cutter there and just mentioned it earlier. Throw it down.
Yeah, well, it's not even that, John. I don't even think it's that. I think it's location of his breaking ball. That's exactly what it is. It's clearly his location for sure.
I think Bernie might be suffering from matters. We thought it was Bernie on the weekend. So up and Bernie can slide. Barely got up for the previous home run when he had to go sliding again. It's smoky. It is, that's right. Ball drops in for a strike. It's 1-2 to Caratini. Interesting, the first inning here, they jumped on Max for 2 runs, all 3 hits on fastballs. In this inning, 3 straight home runs, all on breaking balls. Caratini moves his feet. And it's 2-2.
Yep.
He's at 90 pitches, 91 in his first start at Miami. He's trying to slog his way through the 6th inning. Caratini fouls off the cutter. 2-2.
Yeah, it's true, John.
In their opening series in Chicago, they went 5 now in 2 games. In this series, 3 in this inning.
This is definitely going to be Scherzer's last inning, most likely. 92 pitches.
Caratini uses his timeout to slow Scherzer down. And he pops one foul back this way out of play. That's been now outscored 15-0 in this series. 8th pitch of the at-bat, and Caratini fouls off a couple. That was the neck of the night for Scherzer. He has not had the away pitch. He's only struck out 2. 5 1/3 in this. Quite unusual for him.
Well, David, I don't think anybody is a $42 million a year pitcher, to be honest with you.
3-2 and the curveball on that ball 4. So for 3 straight runs.
Hey, Mike, yep, Scherzer's done.
So Scherzer started poorly, finished poorly.
All right, so pitching changes happen. Well, JL, it's been short. And listen, I said this a couple of times, JL, with the pitch clock. When you're at the game, hold on one second, guys. Someone's knocking on the door. Give me a second. Sorry about that, guys. There was a little bit of an issue.
I wear a few different hats as CFO. Sometimes it's referred to as
I forgot that there was a
wherever there's a
construction guy coming tonight to check out something that I wanted him to check out. Sorry about that, guys.
It kind of spreads more widely than fighting.
Whatever hat CFOs like Imran need to wear the safest tools and insights.
Orange Tangy, that's an interesting one.
Helping business flow.
So I believe the Mets got out of the inning. I apologize, guys. I totally forgot the construction guy was coming after his shift to check out something. But thank you for hanging in there with me.
And then to City Field for the home opener on Thursday. Day off Friday. Day game Saturday and Sunday with the Marlins.
Okay.
Through Padres on that first homestand of the year. Would you like to share with the class why you're
Here, just I found a French vanilla for coffee.
All right, guys. Mets are down 5-0. Can the Mets do something? At least Wade Miley's out of the game. The Mets offense, 17 straight innings without scoring a run.
It's not why there's so much smoke in the ballpark. That's all fireworks that they're shooting off every time the Brewers hit a home run. Maybe they should save that for the roof is open. What do you think? Peter Strzelecki on the pitch for Milwaukee, and he gets strike to count. Picking up debris, pieces of fireworks. The shells.
Well, they can't predict the future. 3 straight home runs. They'll fuck it up.
Alrighty, guys. So they're out and by Scherzer.
Show and not the fireworks. The roof is closing. Now we're playing through a major haze, and the cars went foul.
Hey, man.
Strzelecki really emerged last year as an important piece as a rookie. Missed 30 games, 2.83 ERA.
Well, the home opener should help out a little bit.
Got Devin Williams as their closer after they traded away Josh Hader last summer to San Diego. And Strzelecki part of the setup core in front of Williams. And it drops one out to left center field, but easy over his Gillis to grab it one out.
That slider backed up inside and got in enough on Canada.
Sorry, guys. Just catching up on my
So 1 out and nobody on. And now Jeff McNeil has been on base twice with a single and a hit by pitch. Wade Miley went 6, allowed no runs, 5 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts, a hit batsman, 79 pitches, and he was terrific. Even the Mets completely off balance in his first start of the year.
And not throwing hard, folks. You don't have to do it. Can't say it enough. Flamethrower to make out. Get out.
That's today seeing a lefty throwing cutters at 85 to 87. Tomorrow we'll see a right-hander throwing cutters a lot harder when Corbin Burns takes them out against him. That's offense right now just searching. 17 straight innings without a run. Goes back to the final 2 innings in Miami on Sunday. Shutout last night, 6 scoreless innings today. And McNeil drops one into right field for his second hit of the day. So McNeil on base 3 straight times with 2 singles and a hit by pitch. That's a 1 out base for
Can't keep a good man down. The hit machine.
Yeah, I did have that there. Oh, well, the Mets got a lot of good stuff. You want a donut with a chicken, with a piece of meat on it? That's what the glazed donut with a piece of chicken. How about that one? I'm actually going to try that. You know, it might put me into a damn coma.
It doesn't say, but I guarantee you that it is not a natural substance found. There's chemicals in it's not found in a cow. You're saying there's chemicals. I'm saying there's a lot of stuff in there that has nothing to do with a cow. That's all I'm saying. Okay. That's what it is. It's America's Dairyland, kid. I understand.
Oh, Phillies do have that? Oh, okay.
Natural dairy products to put in our coffee. stop yawning at the Mets score a run. You're boring. Oh, it's me. Okay. Well, after 18 years, it's good to know. Comes a point in every marriage. That's bowling for a strike. That's Escobar 2-1. Escobar snapped it over for 14 stretch with a single to left center his last time up. And he pops this one up behind third. And Anderson should have plenty of room. 2 out. We mentioned it tomorrow. That's case for the Birds or City Properties, David Peterson.
Mets gonna have a hard time trying to salvage the series tomorrow if they don't come back and win this ball game. Yes, Jay. You know what? It seems like everybody around the league is starting to get that sugary top bottom bun and then the meat in the middle. I actually had that waffle and the chicken. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I was down south. I don't. That was my go-to when I go down south is the chicken and waffles. I don't. That's my southern good food right there. All right, that should end the inning. 18 straight innings for the Mets, not scoring a run. That's where we are going to the bottom of the 7, guys. Rough 2 days for the Mets. But you know what? Some people say, "Oh, I'd rather have it early than later." But you know what? I necessarily don't like saying that. Oh yeah, absolutely, guys. So like I said, this is how you know, it's like Gary Keith and Ron when the Mets are losing by a lot or there's a big lead by somebody. They talk about baseball cards. We talk food here on the channel, right? They got a couple of things. They got this. I saw it today on Twitter. It was like it's like a shake, but it has like donuts on it or something on it. It's crazy. It's like what the hell? Oh. Base barbecue, best barbecue down here. Interesting. Yeah, like I said, I'm not crazy with a lot of the crazy foods. Like I might try like the new ones early on in the season, but my go-to is always the chicken and fries basket. Can never go wrong there. It's hard to mess that up, right? Alexander, that's not actually true, actually. If you actually paid attention every now and then, and I see you're definitely a Yankee fan, so I'm not shocked here. Last year, I did about 45 to 50 live stream games, probably more than that, and I was well above 500. I mean, maybe I should do that, right? Maybe I should do a tracker of the records when I do live streams. At the moment, I might be 0-2, but being at the games, I'm 3-1. So it's all right. The Yankees have another easy year with that with them, for the American League because the American League is garbage. So, the Yankees get the easy path to the playoffs once again. So good for them. Like I said, I wish I had a terrible National League. Right? Would be nice. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say anything about the yeah when it comes to that. So we got Brooks Raley on the mound right now.
Where he got hurt in the 2 runs in the first inning, 3 base hits solidly struck on fastballs.
Now Brooks Raley pitching with the 7th.
No, it's okay. The 3 home runs off the breakers. 3 in the 3rd. He was solid in Miami. Like his stuff, sit the ball.
Facing Christian Yelich. Lined into a double plays last time up. 1 for 3.
Oh, Soppy for sure. It's amazing. Yelich looked like he couldn't even play baseball anymore yesterday, and today he's just hitting the ball all over the place.
And now Luke Boyd is going to bat for Jesse Winker.
A little more bat speed from Yelich today's game.
So here Breaker giving a right-handed bat against Ridley. By the way, the 3 home runs in a row allowed by Max Scherzer. Second time in his career.
I don't like the new game day, guys, the way it looks.
July of 2017.
Not a fan of it.
Arizona, while pitching for the Nationals, he gave up 3 straight home runs in the first inning of the game. Really, first pitch cutter, 20 missed, nothing in 1. David Peralta, AJ Pollock, Jake Lamb. The 3 who went back-to-back against Scherzer in 2017. Tonight it was Tellez, Anderson, and Mitchell. Another good cutter by Riley. That one on Voigt was 0-2.
Voigt, big, strong guy, likes to wear that button up, unbuttoned uniform. He is just a swinger boy. It's all or nothing with him. Strong guy, strikes out a lot, connects, and hit it a mile.
On the short season in 2020, he led the majors in home runs. His stock has dropped significantly. Made the Brewers as a minor league free agent.
Well, Jake, I don't even think that's necessarily true because every game the Mets had a lead in, it wasn't a save situation. So Diaz probably would have pitched in a non-save situation. He might have pitched on the Friday game to keep the game close. But other than that, he might have pitched once so far, considering the Mets either got lost the game, were not leading in a ball game, or a game like yesterday, or a game they were winning by more than 3 runs.
He takes that seriously. And the breaking ball popped up. Shallow center. Demo coming on with Gore out. Over comes Cats. Gore reaching up to make the catch. Cat was coming flying in from left. It was a little dangerous, but Gore calmly grabbed it before the out.
Tanya Dansby, I've said this from the beginning. I'm a big fan of Dansby Swanson. I really liked him. I always said it's going to hurt the Braves more than it's going to help them, losing him. And I always think it's going to help the Cubs, to be honest with you. I don't think the Cubs are a great team, but I did pick them as a surprise team that could probably sneak into a wild card, especially if one of the teams in the NL East don't perform to their capabilities. They can find a way, on the way out of the playoffs if they don't get that 3rd wild card. Because I did pick 3 teams in the NL East like last year to make the playoffs.
Thomas is 1 for 3 at base and scored a run back in the first. I'm sure want to be, consuming a derivative. No. That's foul. 2 to Thomas.
It's like, you wouldn't know. Before I had 3 surgeries, I sure saw a nutritionist. She said to me, look at all the labels. Anything that says added sugar, do not buy.
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb.
She prefers she preferred for me no sugar at all in the diet. And, but added sugar, she said, that's the bad stuff.
Right. You want the kind of sugar that comes from fruit. Right. That's good sugar.
Jail, I think we both can agree on that.
Like me, I didn't. She's enlightened.
And now you've laid others. Passing it along. Broke it back over.
That's going to drop. Ugh, that sucks.
So Adonis shattered his bat. And took one a long line for his second end of the day. Yelich pulls it at second.
Sawed off. Lindor does a great job hustling out here and getting this ball. That could have been 2nd and 3rd.
Sloppy got all the bar spots prior to the game.
By that time, Yelich had slammed on the brakes at second, so no advance. And now riding Tellez, who got the dinger party started in the 6th inning. He got a hanging curve and lined it out for his first of the year. And he gets tied up on that inside fastball from Rayleigh, 0-1. Well, there's your high-speed hitting. Tellez, the only one of the 3 that made it to the top 3, brought to you by Spectrum. A lot of hit balls tonight against Scherzer, more than you're accustomed to seeing. Max went 5 1/3, allowed 5 runs runs. He hits 2 walks, only 2 strikeouts, and the 3 home runs. 95 pitches for Scherzer. Then Daniel Reyes came in and got 2 quick outs, 3 pitches, got 2 fly balls to center. And that would really take over here in the 7th. 10 hits now for the Brewers, who had 10 hits in the game yesterday. Tellez takes curveball in for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Goodness, Eric. You got this from Russ. I just opened it up. This the entire ingredients. We're not going to do any
Well,
further.
we're almost headed to the 8th, and it's not even 2 hours into the game yet. And he strikes out.
Strike 3. Really gets to the slider. That's his first strikeout, the second out. We know what the gets Tuesday. No sugar tonight. In my coffee. I don't think he meant it. No sugar tonight. In my tea.
Well, Gio, I mean, again, you see runs don't always translate to wins either. You know, you also have to pitch. I mean, you know, they can put up all the runs they want, but if their pitchers are still giving up more runs, you're not winning ball games. You know,
2 out of 2 on Brian Anderson coming on. Anderson, that was a good time in his first region.
well, the Mets actually don't really have a $400 million lineup. I mean, honestly, they're not really paying anybody except for Lindor and Nimmo. Other than that, they're really not, if you really think about it. You know, they put a ton of their money in the rotation. I don't necessarily agree with all that, but that might be gone too. Oh, home run. Woo. Fucking Brian Anderson. Met killer. Definitely a Mets killer. Well, Brian Anderson killed the Mets when he was with the Marlins, and now killing them with the Brewers.
Just out of the reach of Memo. Welcome to Milwaukee.
I keep that cheese head on for a while. Garrett Mitchell.
Well, he had himself a day, that's for sure.
The heroes try. I bring that one back.
6 RBI day.
Looks really is touched up for the first time as a Met. And now Mitchell.
Oh, that's gone too. Wow. I think the Mets are watching the Phillies the first 2 games of the year. Probably not at all this year, JL. But I don't think it has anything to do with Diaz. Like, look at this. Like, Diaz wouldn't really pitch in these games. So, Beatty's hurt committee.
Shoulder tucked in. He had full extension there. I thought it was about belt high. Quick back.
Caratini takes a change of outside 1-1. Buck Showalter's pitching staff did not allow more than 3 runs in a game in any of the 4 games in Miami. They've given about 19 runs in 15 innings in this series.
Should end the inning, but not before. Back-to-back home runs, and it is now 9-0 Brewers going into the top of the 8th. Beatty did the same thing. He swung, and that same thumb that he surgically repaired last year is causing an issue. Again, it might not be nothing wrong. It might just be, he just twisted his arm a little bit. But other than that, we don't know. He's going for testing tomorrow. So Hopefully it's nothing serious, but, for a guy who had surgery last year on his thumb, and the same thumb is the problem, hopefully it's just, he just swung the bat the wrong way. But that's something that, a 22-year-old kid, you can't really, that's a rough injury to have, especially you got hit. Barman, well, I mean, I don't think you should panic yet. It's game 6 of the season. Again, the first 4 games of the season, the Mets bullpen gave up 1 run in 13 2/3 innings, and had a 1 ERA. So it's 2 bad games. You come back and you get it back. That's it. You come back, you win tomorrow, and that's it. You go back to New York 4-3. Starting the road trip, 7 games, 4-3. Not exactly what you would like, but you come back home for 6 games. You get your home opener. You get the job done. That's basically it. I don't think you necessarily should be completely concerned yet. It's game 6. Again, was anybody concerned when the Mets scored 17 runs into 4 games? No. Andre, I don't think he's a 5-inning pitcher. I think he's better than that. Still, I do think that, again, you can be the best pitcher in baseball. You can't leave hanging breaking balls there. And that's what he did. Again, Scherzer's got to be better. The Mets haven't scored in 18 innings, not helping the pitching staff either. When the pitcher feels like he has to be perfect, when the Mets are not scoring, that's when you're going to, leave pitches over the plate. Exactly, JL. And the Braves still found the way to win 101 games. Not saying that the Mets can do that, but and Nimmo got a base hit. But yeah, I mean, look at it this way, guys. The Mets won 8 out of their first 10 series to start the year last year. What did it get to them at the end of the year, right? There's no perfect scientific method to winning 95 games. I agree, John, but if you were hanging out in the channel last year early on, when the Mets were losing games in April, there were people telling you that September only mattered, which necessarily wasn't true.
And that's it. Sharp lit is short, backhanded by Adames, scooped at second by Turang, and they got the force. Turang's done everything in this series, hasn't he? Beautiful scoop to save Adames in air. And that's the first.
Well, Andre, is Beatty really going to help this lineup by himself? Probably not, right? If Lindor and Alonso were going, I don't care if you bring in, Murderer's Row. It's not happening. Well, JL, I don't think too many people understand that. Mark, you can drill Anderson, but what is that going to prove? It's not like you're not going to lose 9-0. I don't see the point in that. Like, the guy's hitting a baseball, which you're getting paid to do. I don't know what he's supposed to do. Like, I'm sorry. If Lindor hit 3 home runs in a ball game, you think they should drill Lindor? I mean, that doesn't make sense. David, I think I wouldn't call last year a collapse. I just think the Braves were scorching hot, and the Mets played 500 baseball in September. It's not like they were 10 games under 500 in September. If they were 10 games under 500 in September, you can call that a collapse. I mean, the Mets were 500 when they were basically 10 games over 500 every month, except for September. So collapse, strong word. I wouldn't call it a collapse. Lindor pops it up. Another warning track power. Yeah, David, I agree with that.
Bobbleheads, fireworks, jerseys, and more. There's something for everyone in 23 with 23 giveaways from Philadelphia Nights. For info and tickets, go to Mets.com/promotion schedule. Give credit to Marte. Yes. He down 9-0 in the 8th inning. He's tagging up and taking the extra base.
You talk about setting an example. Like you said, a blowout game or in the 8th here and tagging up in the game.
Yeah, Barman, I agree, you know. Oh. Stop the Yankee fans from getting excited, huh?
That's a big progress in one area, isn't it? They haven't had to pitch one
Well, Mark, because I streamed the game yesterday, and if I stop a stream, wouldn't you call me a bandwagon fan? You stick with your team no matter what. If you want to leave, go ahead. That's the way I see it. But please don't tell me what to do with my channel, all right? You can do whatever you want with yourself. Don't tell me what to do with my channel. So it's after the top of the 8, Mets don't score. Bottom of the 8, 9-0 Brewers. That's all. Well, I don't have no excuses for the Mets. I've said what I had to say. What did I say? Scherzer hasn't pitched well enough. You can't give up these amount of runs as the ace of the staff. Can't. I can't bitch and moan and tell you Garrett Cole almost had a 4 ERA in a bad American League and tell you that, you know, if you have almost a 4 ERA as an ace of a staff, you're clearly giving up a lot of runs, right? And this is not what you can't expect this from Scherzer. Look, if Scherzer pitches like this all year, the Mets are in trouble. No doubt about it. Be the first one to tell you. Well, Vincent, the same lineup the same team that won 101 games last year? I don't know. Without Scherzer and DeGrom for 12 weeks out of the season? Yeah, it is. No, but Lewis, I mean, Scherzer had a 2.36 ERA last year in 23 starts. So I don't understand why everybody's going crazy about this. And I don't get it. Like I said, Scherzer got to be better. No doubt about that. All right, Torres, you want to believe that, but same team as last year, 101 wins. Again, they had a hiccup the last week in September. They struggled. That's it. But, Michael, I'm not going to bitch and moan because it's game 6 of the season. I mean, you're an embarrassment if you're going to bitch and moan 6 games into the season. The Phillies gave up, 17 runs in the first 2 games of the season? Are they calling for their season to be over? Home slice, I'm going, yes. You know, but again, when you're not scoring runs, your pitchers have to be perfect. Even if, all right, they gave up 10 runs yesterday, 9 runs today. That's a problem. Absolutely.
9-0 Milwaukee had Montevino on the pitch. And this is outside the price to rank. 1-0. Luis Guerrero made the play short.
Okay, and what about the Angels every year spending a ton of money? Again, the Phillies spent a lot of money and they won 87 games last year. The Braves spent basically no money and they won a World Series in 2021. Doesn't matter if you spend money or not. You got to play well. It's just that simple. I'm not getting upset, but you're telling me what to do with my channel. That's it. Don't do that. I don't tell you what to do. I'm sorry. Like, it's not an innocent question. Like, again, if you want to be a bandwagon fan, be a bandwagon fan. Only come around when they're doing good. Be a bandwagon fan, but you don't get any respect from me. You know, I get on Brave fans and I get on Philly fans. Did you see Philly fans on the stream yesterday when they were getting their ass kicked? No, they came on today, right? You see the problem there? Well, I didn't. If it's a misunderstanding, but your question said, "Why are you still streaming?" Well, I'm still streaming because I'm a Mets fan who don't leave a stream because their team's losing. That's called bandwagon fan. If you want to be one of those, go ahead. But you have no respect on this channel. Go to another channel. And it's not just you, Mark. It's anybody. Exactly, home size. He was the third choice. At that point, the Mets really didn't have no other options. You know, they were trying to get Stearns from the Brewers. That couldn't happen. Porter decided to show his penis to win. And you ended up with Epler. Okay, Mark, but I was here yesterday 10-0. Again, you can get off the stream. Nobody's stopping you. Click back. Refresh. Do whatever you want to do. Close out of your tab. I just don't understand why you're telling me. Well, again, Mark, you're a bandwagon fan. You want to leave, leave. That's what I don't understand. You're on my stream for what then? Because like Jake just said, you are trolling. Don't troll. There's no need for that. Let the Phillies and Brave fans do that. I'm sorry. I don't leave baseball games. If you know who I am and what I am one of those people that I work overnight. I don't leave Met games when I go to games. I don't care if the Mets are down by 10 or up by 10. I don't leave baseball games. That's my choice. All right? I have that right just like you have that right to leave. I don't stop anybody from leaving. You know what? You should actually respect the fact that I'm still having a stream when it's 9-0 and an embarrassment. And surprised that the Brave fans and the Philly fans haven't showed up yet. You know, JL, he's one of those good Brave fans, right? He respects the fact that I'm a fan of the Mets and he's a fan of the Braves. He could be trolling right now, but he's not. If he is, that's up to him. Well, Michael, we are terrible for 2 games, right? But Michael, you weren't saying that when the Mets were scoring 6 runs, 5 runs, and 5 runs the first 4 games of the year, right? No, I have no problem. Well, Mark, I am not other Mets channels, okay? I don't block everybody that has a problem or troll. But I keep it neutral for everybody. I don't care if you were a Mets fan, Phillies fan, or Brave fan. If you make it like you want to control the channel, you are going to get roasted on this channel. Again, I don't like bandwagon fans. I don't like bandwagon fans. I don't. But I'm like fans like John, like JL. I know they're Philly fans. I know they're Brave fans. I know how good of sports fans they are, and they're fan of their team. If you want to root for your team, I have no problem with that. But let's not act like they don't deserve to be on the channel when I say who's on my channel. That's it. Again, you're not going to win an argument when you tell me that, oh, I stick around games when they're in reach. Well, that's called a bandwagon fan. That's the definition of a bandwagon fan. Okay, but Mark, you turned off the game? If you turned off the game in your house or wherever you are, but you're still on the stream, that means you're still listening to the game. So you still know what's going on. But a bandwagon fan is a guy who is here when they're good or here when it's close to a possible comeback, but So does that mean, Mark, when the Mets came back against the Phillies from 7 runs down, did you leave? Or did you turn off the TV and found out from social media that, hey, oh shoot, they're coming back. Let me turn on the TV again. Well, that's what it is. Okay, Mark, that's fine. They're not showing life tonight. Go to bed.
Really enjoy the fruits of what this job has to offer without his best friend around. I think he's really done that quite successfully. Thank you, Garrett.
Sorry, Mark, but you're a bandwagon fan. That's what you are. If you don't want to admit it, that's okay. It's all right.
I noticed we took our first charter flight the other night, and Wayne has been replaced by Keith Rad, the new radio guy. Does Wayne know that? Yeah.
Double play ball. All right. Last licks for the Mets in the ninth. 9-0 Brewers. So the Mets had terrible 2 performances back-to-back days with Carrasco and Scherzer on the mound. Bullpen didn't help the issue either, and it leads to a blowout game. And, hey, look, there's no excuses for the Mets right now. Their offense better pick it up. Scherzer's got to pitch better. Again, from your 5th starter, I don't know what to expect from any 5th starter. Well, Mark, clearly you don't. I'm sorry. So, listen, Mets got to come tomorrow, get their asses, wake up, act like they're in Milwaukee and still not in Miami on the beach, and get their asses and play. They got to play, and that's it. That's all the Mets have to do tomorrow. Salvage the series, come back home for the home opener the next day on Thursday. No, Mark. See that? Why are you giving stupid comics now? Of course I want the Mets to win. But again, you're still on the stream, so you're clearly curious enough of what's going on in the game, or like people are telling you in the chat, you're a troll. And again, I don't let that go on this channel. I'm sorry. I don't block people, time out people, because you act like your own fool. Michael, I don't know. Somebody must have put you on timeout. I don't time out or block people. It's the moderators. And I usually give the moderators instructions not to block anybody unless you're being disrespectful, like sexually or racistly. Other than that, no. Well, I also think that jail, that's an excuse too. You know what I'm saying? Like Brewers are a good team. All right, guys. So here we go. 9th inning. Mets are down 9-0. Pretty good chance there's going to be a loss here, but you never know.
Tonight after Postgame on the Sports Night, Tuesday's Major League Baseball recap. Manny Machado got tossed in the first inning after a pitch clock violation. Knicks talking playoffs and looking back at UConn's national championship run. That's tonight after Postgame. Fellas.
Thanks, Steve. Tommy Pham leads off against Javi Guerra as the Mets are down to their final 3 outs. Pham has got 0 for 3 today after his big day Sunday in Miami. This is not the Javi Guerra who pitched for the Marlins and the Nationals. This is the younger Javi Guerra. The other Javi Guerra is from Mexico. This Javi Guerra is from Panama. He goes from the Padres and the Rays, and now his first year with Milwaukee.
I was just going to say that the Dodgers had the highest payroll for how many years in a row?
2-1 to Pham.
I mean, do we count the pandemic year? I don't.
It has been a whiteout first 2 days for the Mets in Milwaukee. It's a bouncing ball for a
Hey, Michael, that's that's your choice. And again, I don't stop nobody from being on my channel or not. But you also got to take it when you bring it too, right? I understand, Mike, you get pissed off, but you also got to understand that you're in Game 6 of the season. Again, I guarantee when the Mets scored 6 runs on Sunday, you had nothing bad to say. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Like, you can't just when things are bad, you're only going to talk bad. But when things are good, oh, look, everything's fine and dandy. You know, if the Mets win tomorrow 7-0, you're going to have a lot of positive things to say, right? That's how most fans are. But you also have to be realistic that the Mets were terrible the last 2 games. Nice to see them come back, but that doesn't solve the fact that you gave up 19 runs in 2 games. Nobody's defending shit shows, Michael. The problem is the Mets were 3-1 to start the season. Where was everybody saying that? Oh, was that a shit show? The last 2 games were a shit show. I agree with you. But I have said nothing positive about these 2 games. I'm allowed to be positive about a team. Oh, I don't let them. It's just that I don't let them get away with it, unlike other channels. Again, if you want to go on other channels and act like that and then they block you right away, let them do that.
Every other sport, the person who runs the team is a coach, and in baseball, it's a manager.
Have a good night, Mike. Minnie.
How come in every other sport?
Mark, I agree with you with that. I've said the WBC is, Canna might have hit. Nope, guess not. I lied. Yeah, even Conforto hit home run.
Well, it's Steve Forward said, right? Don't you go thinking.
Of course, Dave, because everybody's excited about the season. Of course. Like I said, you know, if you look at certain Met fans right now, you think the Phillies are 6-0. And they ended up 0-4. And now they probably actually win a game today. So they'll be 1-4. Canlis has some good at bats, Grant, for sure. It's not good, TD. Listen, to be honest with you, coming out of the Marlins series, you know, the Mets scored 5 or more runs 3 out of the first 4 games of the season. I wasn't expecting this. Yeah, we definitely can't find the gaps. No, you can't overreact, but, you know, you can be concerned. You can definitely be concerned.
You know, there was a time in my life.
But 3 out of 4 games, you scored 5 or more runs, 5 runs or more in 3 out of the 4 games. And McNeil still beating out the ball for his 3rd hit. Well, Mark, they did last year, if I'm not mistaken. This is the first year in a while they haven't played at home.
Batting champ, and not just a National League batting champ, a Major League batting champ.
John, I was concerned for you guys. 100 only 162.
Very much like Dave Fried speaks now. But, you know, I grew out of it.
You're right. They did open up in Washington after because they were supposed to start at home, but because of the lockout, they started in Washington. That's right.
Speaks very similarly to the way Dave Fried speaks, and he's had a great career as a broadcaster. But I aspire to sound like something a little more neutral and not a kid. So
We're going to go further back.
okay,
Chris Schenkel. Remember, he used to go with
Yeah, not pretty, Michael.
I'm thinking about Goose and about Bliss. That's right. Question great dish.
He was just wonderful.
Well, check out. That's it. When I was starting out in the business, they say everybody
Excuse me.
talks on radio or television should sound as though they come from Nebraska. Like Johnny Carson. Really? Yeah. But those things have evolved over the years. Now we have your dialects and accents that are prevalent.
And the game is over. The Mets, for 20 innings, do not score a run and get blown out in both games so far of the series against the Brewers. 10-0 yesterday, 9-0 today. The Power Bats showed up for the Brewers. They didn't hit a home run in the series against the Cubs, and they've hit many home runs against the Mets in this series. So Brewers win the series. Mets are going to try their best to salvage the series tomorrow with David Peterson on the mound. Offense has looked bleak. I mean, Nimmo 2 hits, Neal 3 hits. Not a way to go about it. Well, John, didn't you give up like 20 runs the first 2 games too of the season? Well, David, did you say that last year when – yeah, it's been a while. The Brewers do have good pitching, but again, you can't get shut out like that either. All right, guys. So another bad performance by the Mets. Again, another game where nothing happened. Right? Nothing good to say about the Mets at all. The only thing you could take out of it is that it's not game 155, right? It's game 6. You know, what you want to see from the Mets tomorrow is some damn fight. That's just honest right there, right? You need some fight. Win the game tomorrow. Do anything you got to do. I don't care if you got to bunt the guy over. I don't care if you got to bunt for a base hit. Got to get it done. Exactly, John. Like I said, for 5 months out of the year, the Phillies were cold until they weren't last year, right? Not saying that's the recipe to have a season, because I don't think you want to trust having a bad 5 months and hope you get hot at the right time. But clearly the Mets got to be better. And look, they got to show a fight tomorrow. That's just basically it, right? You got to come out there tomorrow and you got to put it to them. The Mets completely, especially offensively, went completely away from their game, which was working the counts, playing situational baseball, going first to dart on base hits, getting those runners in and scoring position. You got to do that tomorrow, right? Every mistake that the Marlins made in the first series of the year, the Mets took advantage of. They had opportunities early on in both games yesterday and today. They didn't get the job done. Maybe if the Mets would have came out to a lead, it might have been a little different. But 2 absolute bad games. No excuses. There was no chance at all for these games. And they got to come out tomorrow and fight. Look, you kind of know what type of team you're going to have when you get blown out the next 2 games. In the last game of your road trip, coming home, you better come out and fight, because there will be some boos at Citi Field on Thursday, home opener, if you don't show some fight. Again, you're going to lose baseball games, but show some fight. Show some effort. They look lost the last 2 games. Come out tomorrow and get it done. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do the game tomorrow, guys, but if I do, it'll be up very late tomorrow, around 11:30 or so, since I will be back to work. So everybody, keep it going. Keep your heads up. The Mets are 506 games. Very, very long season to go. See if the Mets come out with some fight tomorrow. Peterson on the mound. Mets got to get it together. Mets, Brewers tomorrow. What is it, 1 o'clock tomorrow? 2:40? Something like that. Let's see. What is it? 1:40 tomorrow. There you go. No, it was one of those 40s. So 1:40 for tomorrow. Most likely there won't be a stream, but hey, you never know. With that said, guys, everybody have a great night. Mets lose 9-0 to the Brewers, lose the series to the Brewers, seeing if they can salvage the series tomorrow before they head home on Thursday. Last game of the series, last game of the road trip to start the season. Everybody have a great night. As always, my fans, let's go Mets. See you next time, guys. Have a good night.
We got the teamwork to make the dream work. Let's go. We're gonna make it this time. We're gonna take it home. Let's go. Do it. Do it. Make it happen. Where there's a Met man, you'll find a Mets fan. Let's go. This is a Mets year for all your Mets here.